And so, moving on to our next presentation, it is my honor to invite the CEO of FIMM, Encik Kaleon Leong bin Rahan, to share some of that data with us. Dipersilakan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to our guest of honor, Encik Kamaluddin Hashim, Executive Director of the SC, representatives from the Securities Commission, FIMM Chairman Encik Rizal, FIMM Board members, representatives from the EPF, Bank Negara, members, distributors and industry bodies, distinguished speakers and panelists, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to be back here, and I would like to thank you again for being here for the FIMM Annual Convention. On behalf of my team, a lot of painstaking planning has been undertaken since last year to ensure that we have a very productive session today. And certainly a lot has happened in the last 12 months since we last met. Collectively with the board, committees, working group and team, we have made a lot of progress. And the last 365 days, we basically went back to the future. Back as in back to basics, future as in trying to future-proof FIMM for the industry's needs. And talking about going back, we went all the way back to 10 years ago to see how we could actually make a better future for the industry. So I think it is apt for me to start off my presentation with some slides on a 10-year throwback challenge that we have witnessed over the last 10 years. So in terms of this 10 years throwback, we are not going to show photographs of people, how they looked 10 years ago, but rather the state of the economy and the industry over the last 10 years. What's thought-provoking is that population has grown by 16%. What's worrying is that the CPI has also gone up by 23%. And what's terrifying is that our gross savings have gone down by 29%. But every crisis breeds opportunities, and what's worth capitalizing is that retail internet banking transaction value has actually gone up by 610%. So these are general macro data that we have managed to get, but if we deep dive into the unit trust industry, you will see that what's encouraging is number of funds have increased by 24% over the last 10 years. What's stimulating is that the number of people or number of unit holder accounts have gone up by 43%. So I used to think that we have a population of 32 million people, assuming that every single person owns a unit trust account. If we throw a stone today, almost 2/3 of the people are already into the unit trust space. The corresponding increases that we are seeing also is in terms of units in circulation and net asset value, where both have also grown by between 145 to 146%. But what's shocking or alarming is number of consultants have decreased. Despite the fact that today we have achieved a milestone of sorts where we have an all-time high turnout for a paid FIMM event, it is still alarming that the number of consultants have decreased over the last 10 years by 9%. Having said that, all these signs have led us to look at how to future-proof the unit trust and the private retirement scheme industry within our ambit or jurisdiction. In doing this future-proofing exercise, what we have done is we have identified 3 key stakeholders that we need to future-proof ourselves to service them better. Of course, investors, consultants, and members. Within these 3 groups of stakeholders, we have also identified shocks and stress points that would jeopardize their future. For example, when it comes to investors, one key area that FIMM is very concerned about is products proliferation in a positive sense. While number of products have grown by 24% over the last 10 years, we feel that it's equally important for us to ensure that investors are ready to choose and select the type of investments that they want to go into. Equally important would be consultants in terms of sales readiness to cater for this product's proliferation exercise. Fintech disruptors, margin compressions, which is impacting both consultants and members, and lastly, ease of doing business. So all these shocks and stress points that we see here are areas that we have focused our attention over the last 365 days and the next 365 days, whereby our 2-year operationalization plan has come up with a list of items that we have been working on to ensure that these shocks and stress points are mitigated or addressed. For example, when you look at the 2-year operationalization plan that we have, there are a lot more investor education efforts. We have also come up with a retirement is no joke campaign. You would be able to see most of the video clips today. We have kicked off a nationwide survey whereby we have gone down to the ground and interviewed more than a sample size of 3,000 people around Malaysia to get a pulse of what investors and non-investors think about the unit trust and the private retirement scheme industry. At the same time, in terms of assisting consultants to grow their business, we have expanded distribution opportunities. We are finalizing our UTS PRS harmonization process. We have come up with some familiarization program and even multi-tiering for QTAS and CPRAS. We have also tried to assist in terms of upskilling consultants with, by doing a training needs analysis exercise. And we have kickstarted this Code of Ethics learning program 2 months ago. What's encouraging is feedback from the consultants, the members have been very positive. For example, through our Code of Ethics learning program, we have actually announced 60 sessions, 20 for this year and another 40 for next year. What's very positive is that the take-up rate for all 60 sessions are fully booked. That's why I was telling my team it was like a Jackie Cheung concert or an Aerosmith concert, whereby we just announced it today and tomorrow the demand is already there. So we aim to serve and we aim to please by upskilling all of you in future. It's not just Code of Ethics that we are looking at, we are also trying to come up with more training modules to help grow the industry. In terms of margin compression, we are putting money in where our mouth is. Basically, we have also looked into coming up with single authorization cards, fee waivers program to ensure that we know it's difficult times now, and every single cent that we spend is used practically to develop the industry as well as to help consultants. So these are the 2-year operationalization plan events that we will be focusing within the next 365 days as well as the last 365 days. But we still feel that it is not enough. And to complement these efforts, there will be 3 areas that we are further looking into future-proofing FIMM, which is education, regulation, and development. In terms of education, you will see us doing more financial literacy efforts in future. There will be publications, social media, and road shows. We will also expand our education reach eventually via an e-learning platform so that we can reach out to more consultants. At this moment, due to limited logistics, limited facilities, and budget, we can only cater to X number of people. But moving forward with e-learning, we hope that this would allow us to enhance our reach to a larger audience. And we are also at this juncture reviewing our syllabus in terms of examination questions and also the CUTE and CPRE modules. So for those of you all who are here, you would have already taken your exam. You can always feel free to do a refresher if you want to. In terms of regulation, we are strengthening investor protection measures via our supervision and disciplinary process. For those of you who have attended our industry sharing session in August, you will see that what we are doing now is to share with the industry more in terms of the mystery shopping exercise that we did last year, in terms of the submissions we received, and in terms of the sanctions or disciplinary procedures that we have taken. All these things, we will do it in a very transparent way, whereby not only will members get a written copy of it, we will ensure that the FAQs are eventually put up on our website for everyone to understand it as well as share it. And lastly, on development space, we are mindful about the effects of disruption, the effects of changes around us, and that's why we will be spending some time to look at reviewing and enhancing our stakeholder infrastructure. When I mean by stakeholders, it's basically all consultants, investors, and also members as to how FIMM will be dealing with them in future dealings, be it processes or be it submissions. So this would be an area we would be spending a lot of time on, with the end objective of reducing processing costs as well as time. So once again, on behalf of my team, this is a snapshot of it. Don't worry, we'll post it on our website so you get a clearer view of it. But once again, on behalf of my team, I would like to thank you all for making the time to be here today. Please watch this space. We will try our best to share more, and judging from the feedback that we have been getting from your distributors as well as yourselves, it has been very encouraging, and it has made most of our job worthwhile. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaleon Leong, CEO of FIMM. Do grab your seats. The fun is about to begin, just like an Aerosmith concert. And education, regulation, and development, the three prongs that has been shared just now. And of course, all this data, with the age of technology and information, you can capture this information at any time. It is at your fingertips.